Welcome to Two Sides of New York. And Reed, the season is halfway over already. Can you believe it?
It's gone fast, and it's been a wild ride. A
Yep.
very strange season, but I'm enjoying it.
Yep, I'm enjoying it too, but it always seems to go by this quick. So today we're going to have a All-Star Game recap on the Mets first half, the Yankees first half, and our predictions going forward for the rest of the season. And to start off the show, though, it has happened. Pete Alonso wins the home run derby, and he beat Vladimir Guerrero, which, if you guys want to remember this being the Vladimir Guerrero home run derby, then also remember that Vladimir Guerrero only hit 16 home runs in his rookie year, while Pete Alonso shatters the rookie record with 54 plus, because I think sick power hitter is Vlad Guerrero. I mean, good job with your 91 home runs in the home run derby, but I mean, Pete won fair and square. He didn't even need any of his extra time. So anyone who thinks that Vladdy should have been the winner, I don't think they're right in the head.
No, I mean, that's the rules. I mean, it's funny to get in your head a little bit, but no, Pete won fair and square. He beat Vladdy, even though Vladdy hit first too, so hit more home runs. How good? Whoever hits more in the finals wins, but I think he ties Judge. That's my prediction. I don't think he hits 54.
Yeah, but exactly though. It did get in my head, like, because as a Met fan, nobody could just let us have this. Like, come on, like, you can't just let us have this. And most of the people saying this I saw was from Yankee fans, but not you necessarily,
Yeah.
but a lot of Yankee fans were saying, oh, that was Vladdy's home run derby. But listen, not to take anything away from Vlad, I think Pete was the clear-cut winner due to the tournament rules and due to that Pete always went second each round, and he always out-battled everybody each round. But Vlad put on a show, that 91 home runs, shattering the record. And he put his dad, who's won a home run derby, he put his dad to shame. When Vlad Sr. won the home run derby, he only hit 3 home runs in that final round.
Yeah, no, that was... His dad won the home run derby in 07, and then he nearly won in 12 years later.
Yeah,
Crazy.
They were like going back to like the previous home run derby winners and saying how much home runs they had. It was crazy to see how little the numbers really were. There were so many like times where guys won with only like 3 or 4 home runs in the final round.
That was when that's because they did that 10 out thing back then.
When they changed up the rules, like 5 years now, that was one of the best ideas in baseball history.
Yeah, that was definitely a good thing for Manfred, but even better than Vladdy was Vladdy and Jock. That was an insane round.
Yeah, it was insane, just going back and forth. Went into double overtime, had that classic swing off. I thought Vlad was just gonna blow out Vladdy. I mean, I thought Vlad was gonna blow out Jock in that semifinals round, but Jock put up a fight, and it was a close one.
He's really underrated because he's really overshadowed by Cody Bellinger in LA, but he was one of their top prospects coming up, and he can get really hot. He's really clutch too, as we've seen in the postseason.
Yeah, and he's been a consistent power hitter throughout his entire career. Already his second home run derby, and
he finished second to Todd Father.
To Todd Father,
2015.
Yeah. Each time he's been in it, he's put on a great show.
Definitely.
But
congrats to Pete.
Congrats to Pete doubling his salary in one night while having his cousin pitch to him, who was a little shaky. I think that's another factor into Pete not having as much home runs as everybody else. His cousin was throwing a little wild.
Yeah, a little wild and a little fast.
Yeah,
like, not like speed wise, but just like too quick.
I was thinking after the first round, Pete was probably like, I mean, Jake's here. Let's just have Jake run out here for the next couple rounds. But
or his son.
Yeah, exactly. But congrats to Pete and his cousin, because his cousin, he just works like a day job. So I bet Pete's gonna be giving him some money for that. So congrats to those two.
Definitely, I'll be helping him with his water company.
Yeah. So the All-Star game was. How did you feel? Did you think this All-Star game was boring?
No, I liked it.
I liked it too.
A lot of people didn't. I liked it. I thought it was interesting.
Yeah, there's only one home run. Was there only one home run, or was there two?
Two. Gallo and Bellinger.
Yeah.
And Gallo.
Yeah, but there was so much action in the field. Max
Yeah, a lot
Muncy.
of action in the field. All the mic'd up stuff was great, and I don't know. I think it was just great to see how much young talent is in baseball
Yeah,
with all these all stars.
like what 75% of the guys were under 25.
I know it's crazy.
Yeah, so yeah, like the pitchers were dominating. DeGrom had a 7 pitch inning where he made George Springer look silly, and he had Mike Trout pop out. This was Mike Trout's first All Star game where he didn't get a hit. So
Yeah, no, I saw that. He's
there,
always ranked in his All Star games, and that's crazy because he's played in one since 2012. So the first one to not get a hit, that shows how special Trout is.
yeah, and he tied Joe DiMaggio with his 8th All Star game before the age of 27, which again is incredible. He's gonna finish with at least 22 All Star appearances by the time he retires.
Yeah, I mean, at least like 18 plus.
Uh,
But Tanaka made Bellinger look silly with a nice strikeout. So
yeah, we're gonna get more about the Mets and Yankees players in this All Star game, but both Mets and Yankees players who were in there looked really good.
yeah,
All
they
had a
all
good
look
outing.
good. Gary hit at 110 miles per hour, double down
Yeah,
the line.
that was a shot down the line. Charlie Blackmon, who silently for the last 3 years has been one of the best hitters in baseball, hit that bomb off of who was it off?
It was off.
It was off the dude from the A's, Liam Hendricks.
No, Hendricks struck out the side.
Did he?
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, Blackmon though. Anyways, he's still has had a great showing the last couple years. His third All Star appearance in a row.
Yeah, his third one in a row, and 330, I think, is it he's hitting with 20 bombs, so he's on pace for another dominant season.
Yeah, and Joey Gallo went yard. Who he's showing that he could lay. He's not striking out as much this year. First time All Star, and he's one of the best power hitters in the game.
Yeah, definitely. He's one of the best power hitters. That thing got out in a blink.
So yeah, Pete Alonso, he had his 2-run single. That ball was just smoked. It looked like Glaber had a chance for it at a second, but it just ate him alive.
Yeah, I know. People were giving him a lot of crap for it, but
nobody,
there wasn't much he could do there.
nobody could have grabbed that ball.
If anyone, only Didi could have, I felt like.
Yeah, and Pete looked spectacular in the field. Had a couple scoops.
Does it worry you, him stretching out like that in the All-Star game?
Oh, he's a gamer. He's gonna play no matter what game it is. He's gonna play his heart out. And that's what kept him out of the being called up last year. They didn't think his defense was good enough, but even this whole entire season, he's been shown that his defense is really good. Same with Jeff McNeil. Exactly a year ago, Mickey Callaway said Jeff McNeil is a second baseman and will only be playing second base. And look at him in the All-Star game as an outfielder. And a huge LOL Mets moment. Jeff McNeil, when he was up at bat, they didn't put up his picture. They put up Jacob deGrom's picture. Did you see that?
No.
So they put up Jacob deGrom's picture, and then they asked Jeff McNeil about it after the game. He's like, "Yeah, that's not good. I'm pretty upset about that. I worked really hard to become an All-Star, and I would hope they would have got my picture up there."
Yeah, no, that's not right, man.
No, it's really
that
not.
sucks.
Right. He was really upset about it, but I like that because now he's determined to be in the All-Star game again, so they get his picture right.
Yep. So he's got a little motivation.
Yeah, got that chip on his shoulder. He's had a chip on his shoulder his entire career, and let's add another one to his plate. Leading baseball in hitting right now. If you would have said that the Mets would have had Pete Alonso leading every rookie category hitting wise, and then Jeff McNeil leading the major league in hitting, I would have said we're in great shape. But nope, we're 10 games under. And,
but at least you got a couple guys who might get some accolades.
Yeah, that's true, but I, as you know, I'd much rather see a postseason berth.
That's true, but there's still a whole second half. But
Yeah.
I loved when CeCe came out to talk to Chapman, and they gave him that hand. That was a special moment.
Yeah, that was a good moment for CeCe, especially being in Cleveland where he started his career.
Yeah, started it all. Won a Cy Young there. Nearly came close to a World Series in 07 if it wasn't for a 3-1 blown lead. So
Didn't they have him
he had
throw
a great
out?
career.
Didn't they have him throw out one of the first pitches before the game
Yeah,
too?
he did.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, great for CeCe.
And then Chapman made them look silly. No one on planet Earth could have touched his pitches.
Yeah, he was
in that
throwing
ninth inning last night.
he was throwing gas, but you know what popped out to me most? Those earrings that he was wearing.
Oh, they were fired,
He was all
right?
blinged up for the All-Star game.
I thought they were fired. They were popping out to me too.
Yeah. So Shane Bieber got the All-Star game MVP. A lot of controversy on that. He only pitched the fifth inning, but it was a great fifth inning. He struck out the last batter. He gassed up. Don't remember who he gassed up, but he pitched a great innings. Do you think that? You think it should have went to Gallo?
Um, yeah, probably because it was a. No, I think it should have. It's tough because there was just like three guys struck out the side. There wasn't a pitcher who went really long. I mean, guy strikes out the side to end the game. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have given it to
You might
Chapman.
have given it to Chapman, but it really, yeah, it was a true save situation too. So Chapman
You
could,
can't do that to the guy who freaking won a World Series there and
yeah,
closed out the ALDS. Like, you had to give it to Bieber. Of course, there was a little bias, but so what?
yeah, and I didn't see that coming. Seeing like Chris Bryant and Wilson Contreras and Chapman getting booed. Of course, it was in my mind knowing that they were all on that Cubs team, but I mean that was what 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
I mean the Indians.
Well, you got to remember Chapman also closed the door in the ALDS a couple
True,
years
true,
back.
true. And the Indians have no one to blame but themselves because they had great teams all those years and they really have nothing to show for
And
it.
they blew 2-game leads each time.
Yeah, poor Indians.
Back-to-back seasons. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I mean they're still in contention right now. We'll get into that more, but
I think they're in good shape.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough because not having Kluber and they don't know how long Carrasco's gonna be out. They're hoping he'll be back by the end of the month, but those are some pretty big blows.
Definitely, but going into the Yankees' first half of the season, started off first 10 games, everyone's getting hurt. They start 6-9, and you're like, we're becoming the Mets. But unlike the Mets, we got it together. We're resilient. Next guy up, you hear from a guy named Gio Urshela. Hear from a guy named Michael Tauchman who fills in. Hear from a guy named Cameron Maben. Next man up. It just kept on coming. Domingo Herman. Guys like Tommy Kahnle just stepping up, and that's how we find ourselves 57-31 in first place, 6.5 ahead of Tampa Bay with the best record in the AL.
Yeah, and the most impressive part about that, no mention of how great or the lack of Judge, of him being out, and still how good this team has been.
Exactly, and you saw him just carry the team on his back the other night. He's been out all season, so with him back, I mean, Stanton hurts, but we know they can win without Stanton. They were a game away from the World Series. He's just kind of oof, that's a little luxury. But now with Judge back, I think they're a pitcher away from cruise control. I'll get into that in a little bit, but I want to get into how I knew this was going to happen. I said it before the season. Gary Sanchez was going to have a huge year. I think he's already got comeback player of the year locked up. The keys melted away. You might as well give it to him already. He's been fabulous.
Yeah, Gary Sanchez definitely has showed up to be the leader of this team with all the injuries. And like you said, with all the injuries, you thought this team was dead in the water. You didn't know how Gary Sanchez was going to do this year, coming off an injury and underwhelming season last year, and they just all showed up and stepped up great.
Yeah, stepped up to the plate, and he's also a completely different catcher behind the plate, which a lot of people wanted. Yeah, he has his throwing errors sometimes, but I'll take those because he nails most of the guys at second anyways, and he blocks everything now, which was his big problem.
Who do you guys open up against after the break?
The Blue Jays, 3-game series, so
yeah, so
sweep them. Go sweep them.
So yeah, recapping the Mets' first half, Jeff McNeil and Pete Alonso are the real deal. They're legitimate hitters.
Yeah, they're legitimate hitters. We'll see how Pete's second half is. That's why I don't think you can just jump to 55, 60 home runs already. You got to see who can hit a rock because it looked like Judge was going to break Barry Bonds' record in his first half. So
right,
I'm not saying he can't do it, but
but
everyone goes into a slump.
Yeah,
it's bound to happen.
I totally agree with that. Who knows what will happen going out to the second half? but we're in. We shouldn't be in this position we're in right now because the offense has been playing well the entire season. The only time I could think of where the offense wasn't playing well was against that series against the Brewers where we got swept, and that's when everything started going downhill. Other than that, I think the offense has been pretty good. And it all just starts off with the front office. The moves that we made this offseason were very questionable, and like I've said before, I wanted this Diaz and Cano trade. I didn't think this was gonna happen. We traded Jared Kelenic for Diaz and Robinson Cano, and they've just underperformed the entire season. I have some bullpen stats.
Not good, is it?
Not good one bit. So the Mets have blown an MLB leading 22 saves. If they had been perfect, they'd be 61-27 and the best record in baseball. And if they only had 75, if they converted 75%, 55-33, the second best record in the National League. And if they just cut it in half, they'd be 50-38 and they'd have a wild card. I mean, it's just a joke. If we didn't do this trade, I think we'd be in a better position than we are right now because you could just fill that role with anybody and they'd probably do better than Diaz. I'd say Diaz is the worst closer in baseball right now.
The worst closer in baseball, you think?
I think so. I mean, you have to he's blown the most saves. Yes, he has like 20 saves in the season, which isn't bad at the All-Star break. But come on, you can't be blowing saves like this. Like it's killing the team.
Yeah, you can't. I mean, Chapman's only blown 2 this season, and that's just. I'd rather have 24 for 26 for 20 and 27. I'm guessing something like that.
Yeah, and just nobody's on the same page right now. Brody Van Wagen was in Mickey Callaway's office throwing chairs because they had an argument, which was it's a circus. It's a circus, and
they gotta get Callaway out of there.
They gotta get Brody out of there. They gotta have the Wilpons have to sell the team. It just all starts with the.
You think you're sick of Brody? Get him out of there too.
Yeah, I want Brody gone too. Like you know what fucked us the most? The come get us at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, because I feel like teams come out like, let's just embarrass these guys.
Yeah, and that's what we've been embarrassed the entire year. And I think it's about time we look into trading Zach Wheeler and Noah Syndergaard. The Noah Syndergaard, that's kind of like, I don't know about that. But Zach Wheeler for sure. It's his last year of the contract. He's been decent. Zach Wheeler, I wouldn't say he's been that good, but the Yankees are a team that's interested in the Red Sox, but you don't think the Yankees are going to pull the trigger on it?
No way. They're not going to pull the trigger on Wheeler. And if you think they're going to trade Frazier for Wheeler, you're out of your mind.
Oh no, I don't think they'll trade. I don't think they'll trade Clint Frazier for Wheeler at all.
If they do, it's going to be like 3 guys you've never heard of.
Yeah, like some pitchers or maybe who's that guy? Albert Abreu on the Yankees?
No, not even.
You don't even think they'd give up him?
Not even him, because he's like one of their more talented pitchers.
Yeah,
he's an all-star pitcher. I don't even think they would do that.
Yeah, I was looking at his stats earlier, and I was like, this is gonna be a stretch, because even a lot of I was reading a MLB article too, and they were saying that could be a possibility, but yeah, I don't think the Yankees are willing to give up much for Zach Wheeler.
No, not at all. And
but hopefully we could fleece the Red Sox. I know you hope that too.
Yeah, that's true. Fleece them. Mookie for Wheeler.
Yeah, but another interesting thing, Syndergaard with the Padres. The Padres are really interested in Syndergaard, and the Padres have so many prospects. Mackenzie Gore, he's a left-handed pitcher, and Luis Uranus, a second baseman. If we could pull off one of those for Noah Syndergaard, I say do it because they're saying that Anthony Kay is the real deal in AAA right now. He was just played in the Futures game, had a scoreless inning. So I say, you know what? And Noah Syndergaard.
Trade Syndergaard before he comes to next Harvey.
Yeah, look at he's got a 4.68 ERA, and you would think that this would be the season where Syndergaard is just lights out because even you had him up there for Cy Young this year.
Yeah, I definitely did. I thought he was gonna have a good year, and he's been awful.
Yeah, and just so much extra stuff off the field, like his complaining. I haven't seen anything where the players have a problem with him, but I really wouldn't be surprised if a couple of guys on the Mets.
I bet you Todd doesn't like him.
You think so? I could see that.
He's just like, this guy. He's a prima donna.
Yeah. So just to recap the Mets first half, As you know, it's
Awful.
awful bullpen, awful
Yep,
bullpen,
awful bullpen.
awful managing, and awful front office. And you know what? Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, and Jacob DeGrom. I hope they're like behind closed doors. Like, come on, we gotta stick together. Like, we know everybody else is incompetent. We just gotta stick together and hope somehow the Wilpons could build a winning team within the next couple of years.
Yeah, but you better hope so, or else they're outie.
Yeah, yeah. Like I saw a tweet like I'm so happy that Pete Alonso is here, but I'm so sad that he won't be in 5 years.
Yep, hitting back to back with Judge.
Yeah. Oh, no. I would stop watching baseball.
What, you would hate to see a lineup that had Judge, Alonso, Stanton, Sanchez. Oh my god.
Oh, come on, that would never happen. So I'm not even worried about that.
I don't know, man.
So let's get into our first half MVP and Cy Young. You want to start off?
Trout.
Yeah, that same for me. It's pretty obvious. He's almost his on base percentage is almost at 500, and I won't be surprised if it ends up at 500 by the end of the season.
Yep, and then NL I actually went with Yelich.
Yeah, this is going to be a close race. You can make a case for either of these guys. I'm going with Cody Bellinger. They're going to be duking it out for the triple crown. Hopefully, McNeil has something to say about that by winning the batting title, but it's going to be a close competition.
Yeah, I just think Yelich has just been a little more dominant this season. I know like Bellinger's had his moments, but I mean Yelich he's got the edge in homers, on base percentage, slugging.
Yeah, to see Bellinger where he was at last year at this point, and to see where he is now it's incredible.
He's at another level.
Yeah, and same thing with Yelich. Last year at this time he was an all-star, but he was nothing at this pace. At the all-star break last year, that's when he really started popping off.
Yeah, after that all-star game, he really took off and became the NL MVP we know him to be.
Yeah. So who's your Cy Young?
My Cy Young for the AL, I got Verlander.
Yeah, a strong case. The balls are juiced though, according to him.
Yeah, that's why if the balls are juiced, he's holding batters to a 193 average. So
Yeah. Do you think
up there in strikeouts too.
he's like childish for saying that? Like, do you think that's a problem?
Just Verlander, he's always bitching about something.
Really...
I don't know what he has to bitch about. Like he's one of the best pitchers of all time, and he's married to Kate Upton. Like,
Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Yeah, and I was surprised to see Max Scherzer, his former teammate, have something to say about that. He was like saying that Verlander needs to stop bitching, basically.
I mean, yeah. Some years removed, he doesn't. Scherzer, I feel like Scherzer doesn't have many friends. I feel like he's kind of an introvert.
Oh yeah, he's an absolute gamer.
He's a gamer. Like.
So my AL Cy Young is gonna be Charlie Morton, having a great season as the lowest ERA
Again.
in the American League. Yeah, with the Tampa Bay Rays. But if you go to the Houston Astros and you're like an older pitcher, that's gonna change your career around. That's why I think Matt Harvey should have tried to sign with the Astros in the offseason.
Yeah, but he went with the Angels instead. Is he still pitching, or is he like gone?
I have no idea. Last time I saw his ERA was like 9.50.
Yep.
So, yikes to that guy.
And Haijan Ryu has been excellent.
Yeah,
he's young.
Yeah, he's mine. You can obviously make a case for Max Scherzer again, but Ryu, I don't see any sign of him slowing down.
I don't see any sign of him, but I wouldn't be surprised if Scherzer won.
Oh yeah, not at all. But I think this is it's Ryu's to lose. If he's just gonna keep up this spectacular, and he's always been good, but like he's always had this potential to have this type of season, and it's finally happening.
Yeah, I know. Jeez. Kershaw, Ryu, and freaking Bueller.
Oh,
yikes, in the postseason.
And if they should have kept Rich Hill too. That would have been
They kept him. He's just
injured. Oh yeah, he's injured. But yeah, so Dodgers definitely have one of the best rotations in baseball.
Best rotations if they get it the bridge to Kenley Jansen, get a good setup man. I don't think there's any doubt that they'll be in their third straight World Series.
But also another good young pitcher in baseball, Luis Castillo. He's got that great changeup.
Ooh, I would break the farm for him.
Yeah, and he has that nasty fastball too. He's gonna be a really good pitcher for years to come.
Yeah, years to come, and he's great. His only bad starts have been against the Brewers.
I think he had a bad one against the Mets too. Not like an awful one. I think he gave up 4 runs against us. But
Okay, I mean, yeah, I know all of his losses have come against the Brewers. I'm pretty sure.
you know, so now we're gonna say our predictions to what the postseason's gonna look like. You want to start us off?
I will start. So I got number 1 in the AL. I have the Yankees acquiring a top pitcher that will put them over the top and continue this to a 105-10 win season.
What pitcher and who are you giving up for him?
I got 2. I'm either going for Bumgarner or Bauer. It's either those 2 or I don't want another pitcher.
It's more likely going to be Bumgarner because I think the Indians are going to be trying to pull out a playoff berth. So I don't think they're gonna deal their best pitcher right now. So
Yeah, I don't either.
And
I think it's going to be Bumgarner. I think they'll break it for him just because of his past and just like what JV, like he can do just what JV did. He's only 29. There's no way, like what he's done in the postseason.
Bumgarner's 29.
Yeah.
Well, he looks like He looks like he's 34, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does, but he's still young, so he's definitely not done. And
not at all.
And obviously, New York would not phase him one bit.
No, not at all. And I think he'd pitch better against the American League now because it seems like the National League is starting to get his number a little bit, and I think it would be good.
Definitely.
It would be good for him to change leagues.
I think it'd be great for him, and even in the interviews, they'd be like, "You gave up 3 runs tonight." He'd be like, "I don't care. Don't look at me."
Yeah. So my number 1 is gonna be the Houston Astros. You saw at the All-Star game, they had 6 All-Stars from top to bottom. I think one of the best overall rosters in baseball. And then at number 2, I got the Yankees.
Yep. I mean, yeah, the Astros are a good team. I just, I don't see consistency in that offense. Like, I know they're good, but, like, I don't know, you losing McCullers and Keuchel, you kind of just have those 2 at the top.
Yeah, it is after Cole and Verlander, it gets a little thin, but the lineup is just disgusting.
Morton they lost too.
Yeah, and they lost Morton. The lineup is just they just hit. They just hit and hit and hit.
Yeah, they hit, but you can beat them.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can see. I think the Yankees staff can shut down that lineup.
They do need right now their best relief pitcher is Ozuna. They need something more than that for sure because he really wasn't good at all in the postseason last year.
Yeah, no, not at all. The Red Sox definitely tatted him up, and also I'm just thinking that I don't know that the only thing about the Astros, call me crazy, the only thing that's scary about the Astros to me is Verlander.
Really?
I don't know. Just that last series, I feel like we really handled them, and we didn't even have Judge.
Yeah, it's a good the Yankees have a good that they have the confidence over the Astros right now because they took pretty good care of them in that last series. So
yeah, even though they swept us in April, but that's really when
that was the Yankees' lowest point of the season.
Yeah, that's when Boone said turn the corner. Everyone freaked out, even Judge, but he was right. They turned the corner.
Yeah, and then I got the Twins winning the Central. It's gonna be close, Twins and Indians. Who do you have?
I got the Indians. I think they're going to go on a run. I think they might get a pitcher, not a huge guy, maybe a guy like Lance Lynn or something like that. Sonny Gray, maybe. Yeah. And I can just see that. I think they're going to go on a little run, and I think they're going to win that division again.
Yeah, the Twins.
I can see the Twins kind of falling apart, honestly.
I could see that too, but what a story it's been the first half of the season. That offense, they have the most home runs in the major league right now. I didn't see it coming at all.
Yeah, I didn't see that coming at all. I mean, I see them being a playoff team. Like they made some good signings. They got Scope, like Cruz, C.J. Crone. That's three big names you added.
Yeah, and I have the Indians at the second wild card. My first wild card is going to be the Boston Red Sox, and I know that you think they're done.
I mean, I don't think they're done. I just don't think they're good enough to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like plain and simple.
I just don't think the Rays have a better team than them, though.
Yeah, but I don't know. It just seems like whenever you think the Red Sox are going to get it together, they just lose 4 or 5 in a row. Like, it's just...
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think the Twins, even though I don't think they're going to win the division, I think they're still going to have a little consistency to get them to that first wild card game against the Rays.
All right. So now going to the National League. I think you agree with this one, too. The Dodgers. Definitely.
No doubt.
Yeah. Best team in baseball right now, the Dodgers? Or do you think the Yankees
I say so. No. We need a pitcher.
Yeah, top to bottom, the Dodgers.
The Dodgers.
Great rotation. Kenley Jansen's been pretty good this year too. But so yeah, I just don't see. I think it's going to be a cakewalk for them going into the World Series. I think it's going to be a classic World Series again this year. Dodgers Yankees. That's what I think the World Series is going to be. But yeah, I think they have the National League.
Yeah, I think they got the National League pretty locked down, and I wanted to see that a couple of years ago, and I hope we do see that, because right now I think they are the two best teams in baseball, and oh my god, I think the ratings would be off the charts. I think that'd be one of the most watched World Series in years.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It'd be sick. I think the pitching would just be awful in it, honestly.
Yeah, you think there'll be the balls will sure to be juiced in that one. Like
exactly, those two stadiums will flies.
Oh yeah, especially in October.
From California, they're gonna.
Yeah.
They'd be going in.
So my second team, I got the Braves, and I believe who do I? Oh, I have the Brewers. No. I have the Braves. I was looking at yours. I have the Braves. I was about to say, but the Braves lineup top to bottom is just great. Like they're just lacking some pitching, but Keuchel's definitely going to help that out.
Yeah, Keuchel's definitely going to help that out. If they can make a trade, but
the bullpen.
I got the Brewers coming in second.
Yeah, the Brewers for sure have a better bullpen than the Braves do.
And I just think Yelich I think he's going to win another MVP, and I think he's just going to go off even more. Yeah. But I think you're going to see maybe another guy. I think Moustakas, who has not been talked about enough. It's going to also hit 40 dingers.
Yeah, and he's had a big adjustment to do this season, being a full-time second baseman. That was kind of a tough swap to do, being a third baseman your entire career and having to go play the middle infield. And he's been doing a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, he's a great fielder.
So, yeah, and I have the Brewers coming in at third. Who's your wild card teams in the National League?
I got the Cubs hosting for the second straight year. And then I got a real surprise for y'all. I think the Padres go on a run. I think Machado, Tatis carry that team. Maybe they get Syndergaard. And I think they go to Chicago. And I don't think they'll win, but I think it'll be great because they haven't made the postseason since 2006.
Yeah, maybe Chris Paddock pitching Game 1 in that series or in that wild card game.
Exactly.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. They signed Manny Machado to put themselves in a situation like this. Familio Reyes, he's having a great year. He should have been in the home run. He's having a great year.
Yeah, they are. They're sneaky good. They have so much talent.
Yeah. And then for my wildcard teams, I have the Cubs and the Nationals. Nationals, I thought they were dead. If you would have asked me a month ago, I would have said they're done in the water. But since May 10th, they've had the best record in baseball.
They've been doing good. That young talent led by Soto.
Yeah, the only question mark is the bullpen, but it's definitely gotten better since they acquired Fernando Rodney.
Yeah, they just got to stay hot because if they go into a slump, they might have to trade Randon.
Yeah, but
and that would be it for them.
But where they are right now, I think they're gonna keep him for the rest of the season.
Yeah, they'd have to go on a really bad stretch.
Yeah, so I think you agree with me. Your World Series, Yankees Dodgers.
Yankees, Dodgers. Yankees in 7.
No.
No, Yankees in 6. In 6.
I think Yankees Dodgers. I agree with that, but I think the Dodgers are gonna pull it out in 7. Cause I mean, losing 2 years in a row, that sucks. I mean, they definitely got that chip from losing those.
Nah, it's been 10 years. We ain't losing.
Yeah.
It's been 10 years. Sevy, I don't care. I think Miguel Andujar will do some Kyle Schwarber shit. It's gonna be crazy.
You think he'll be back? But where would you even play him? Like,
Well, I think it'd be for an injury.
so yeah. Because as you've seen from the Yankees this year, that happens quite frequently.
Exactly. So I think it'd just be the perfect ending to the Yankee season. So, like, knock on wood, but like I don't want to wish like DJ or anyone to get hurt, but if that does happen, Miguel Andujar comes back and the 2018 Rookie of the Year wins it all.
Yeah. So a bizarre first half of the Major League season. It went by quick as
it
we
went by
assumed,
quick,
like
and
always.
I hope unlike last summer the Yankees keep it together, and just Judge, stay healthy, man. Get back, Sevy,
Well,
and let's do it.
Here's my message to the Mets: just keep your head above the water. Don't completely drown. Maybe gain a couple games and make me want to watch some September baseball. Maybe hopefully we'll be 5 games out by September. If that happens, I'll be very happy.
Any shot at the playoffs?
I'm saying like 5 games out of the wild. If we're 5 games out of a wild card, I'll say we have a chance by September.
All right. So Mets wild card 2, Yankees AL seed 1. Let's do it.
Yeah. Follow us on Twitter. Reads at 2SidesofNY. I'm at MetsMans19. Follow us on Instagram at 2SidesofNY. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys. Peace out.